What is going on, guys? This is the second part of the semi-automatic farms tutorial. First part was the wheat farm, if you watched it. Second part is going to be the sugarcane and cactus farm, which is here. And let me just show you a quick harvest so you know what we're going to do in this tutorial. The farm is set up like that. When you pull the lever, all the blocks drop down and it harvests the sugarcane and cactus, and it drops into a little trench. Once that's done, you go and collect your drops and pull this lever back up and then go and replant. So that's the tutorial we're going to do today, guys, and I'm going to go over to the flat world now so we can get started. So see you in a sec. Right, guys, we're over in the flat world now, and as you can see, we're where we did the wheat farm tutorial, and this over here is where we're going to do the sugarcane and cactus farm tutorial. But before we get started on the dimensions of that and stuff, we need to do something first, and we need to continue the wall from the wheat farm over to this farm here. So just copy me what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to destroy 4 blocks of dirt and just continue the wall over and do the same on the front here. And then it's going to come out this way here, but I'll just put 2 blocks there for now, and there's going to be a fence gate there so you can go in, but we'll finish that off later. So this is where we're going to build the sugarcane and cactus farm, and the hole I've dug out here is 7 by 17 and 3 down. So let me get the wand tool out so I can count it on screen for you guys to see it. Change the game mode. So from this block here, it is 7 by 17 and then 3 down. So that's the size hole you need to dig out. Once you've dug out that hole, what you need to do, you need to get your building block, and then from the right side of the hole you need to place blocks like this, and you need to do it every other block just like this. So just follow what I'm doing until you get all the way to the end of the hole you've dug out, like that. So you want to leave that gap there, you don't want to fill that in, so just fly up so you can see it. So every other block you put in. Next thing you want to do is you're going to get into the hole, and you just want to dig out some room around this area. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to dig a few blocks out here just so we can put some redstone down, otherwise there won't be enough room. And I'm going to dig out a few blocks around here as well. I'm going to dig 2 there, dig 2 away from the side here. Don't need to go all the way to the end, but I'm just going to dig this part here and then dig all the way along just 1. Right, so it's like that. So you've dug a little bit away here and then a little bit away underneath the path, and there, all the way to the end. So once you've done that, we need to get our pistons and we need to place them on top of the blocks that we've placed down. Again, this is regular pistons, not sticky pistons. You can use sticky pistons, but because this farm uses quite a lot of repeaters, I've worked it out as 64 repeaters it uses in this farm. I thought it'd be best off using normal pistons because it's cheaper, and to get 64 repeaters and a lot of sticky pistons would take quite a lot of material, so we're best off just sticking with this for now. Just try and keep it cheap if you're playing legit. If you're not playing legit, then use whatever you want. But once you've done that, you've put all the pistons on top of the blocks you've placed, so it looks something like that. We need to get our repeaters and we need to point them into every single block, and this is going to be a bit difficult. I've got that. But they need to point that way. If you can see that arrow there, they're all going to point in this direction here. So it's kind of like pointing towards the wheat farm over there. So we need to do that on every single one in between the gaps. So like I said, it does use a lot of repeaters. It works out to a stack exactly. I'm not quite sure how much materials that takes, like smooth stone and stuff, but it is quite expensive. So let's finish this off, last one. Cool. So now once we've done that, we need to get back inside and we need to get some redstone, and at the start here we need to put redstone there. That's the area that we dug out first. And now obviously this is the wire that is going to run off to the lever, so now we need to mark on where our lever is going to be. So there's going to be a wall all the way around this farm. This farm's going to be enclosed in, so let me just put a little bit of the wall up here. So it's going to go all the way along, all the way around the farm. And because there's going to be a farm on the left here and a farm on the right, and the right is where the pumpkins and melon farm is going to be, I'm going to have two levers here. So there's going to be one there and a button here. So let me just put the button down for now. Yeah. So the lever is going to harvest the sugarcane, and the button will harvest the pumpkin farm when we do that tutorial. So I need to put a redstone dot underneath this lever so it powers this farm. So let's just knock that out and put that there. And I'm going to dig down a little bit just to indicate where it is and find it underneath. And it is here. So now we need to hook up the lever to this farm. So let's clear out some room. Cool. So same technique we used on the wheat farm. No, sorry, this is going to be a different technique we used on the wheat farm, because I did try it with the same technique with the lever, but for some reason it's a little bit buggy and the torch keeps burning out. So the way I made it work was like this. The redstone dust is on that block there. We need to put a block here, not sand, just any normal block right there, and we need a repeater pointing out of that block. Then what we need to do is we need to put a block there, so it's up from the repeater, and then we need to put a torch there, and then we need to get our wire and run it so it goes underneath the torch, and that should power all the pistons. And it sounded like it worked. And when I turn this off, it'll go down. When I turn it on, it'll go up. Nice. So let's fill this hole back in there. Right, so let's turn this off for now. We want to get our sand, and we want to put sand on top of all the pistons. Let's do that. Once this is done, we're halfway there. It's nearly finished. Right, so that's done now. So the next thing we need to do is get any block you're using to build this farm. I'm using sandstone, so I'm going to use sandstone for this, and we need to fill in the gaps in between all of the sand. I think sandstone goes well with this farm because we're using sand and regular pistons. It kind of matches and you can't really see the difference. So if you're using cobblestone or something, it wouldn't look right having the sand with cobblestone. That's why I like using sandstone a lot. But you need to do that, fill that in, so we've got a flat surface. So now we've filled that in, guys, we need to build a wall all the way around this area. So let's do that. The wall's going to be the same length as the wheat farm wall, so let's build it out to there, and we need to go all the way across and fill it in here until we meet up with the wall on the lever. And you can see there's a bit of grass here. Just punch that out and fill it out with sandstone, and then you're good to go. Alright, once we've done that area, we want to flip the lever, so it will come up, and now we want to fill it out with water. So we want to put the water all at the back. Just fill up every block and put it at the back, and it should run perfectly to the end. Nice. So now that water is enabling us to plant the reeds and stuff. So let's plant the reeds. Where are they? They're here. So you could fill up this whole area with reeds if you just want reeds, or you could split it like I do with cactus and sugarcane. So let's just fill that in there. So you've got 4 sections of sugarcane and the cactus. Cactus is a little bit different because you can't plant them next to each other, so you need to miss out every other block. Just like that. Alright, so that's it, guys. That is the farm done. When I pull this lever, all the blocks will go down and they will harvest, and then they'll fall into the trench. Obviously what you want to do now to just finish it off is make it look a bit pretty, I guess, and put the fences all the way around, joining from the wheat farm, just to give it finishing touches. And you can put lamps in as well, like I did over there. But yeah, guys, that is the sugarcane and cactus farm done. So obviously you go and collect your drops once you've harvested, put the lever back up and then go and replant. But yeah guys, I'm not going to replant it all. But yeah guys, that's it. That is that farm tutorial complete. I hope you enjoyed it. And next episode will be the pumpkins and melon farm. So I'll see you in the next episode guys.